so mechanized,
Yeah.
it's become so cold, and it's all about making money, sowing the seed that you have to nurture the spirit.
Yes.
It becomes very crucial to corporates. You have to you have to reinvent the empathy side of people's nature. Yes.
Yeah, that's like you have a baby, but you really have to grow that baby into a gentleman.
This baby in here.
Yes, I know why. It's not me. I really agree with it.
Tomorrow we have.
Okay.
Would you like?
So we are just.
We are considering that tomorrow, if we get more people, because the topic
There
is
is
very
no certainty of more people.
So who
So
are
then we
the
can-
speakers today?
So it's
All the speakers are here.
Oh, all five
But there is
people.
no
Three.
audience.
Three. 3 people are the speakers.
And two sweet participants. You self-
That's all right. I think maybe that's how energy or the spirit has created for the session to
I
take
think
place.
so
And
sometimes.
let's,
how I see, in fact, even it's like sowing the seed. You know what really called me here? So I recently started this my coaching business. So I see it as my baby. It's like the seed is there, and I'm looking forward.
Nurture it.
Yeah, it's like, and I get that. It's like nurturing
Yes.
is what will make it like a full-fledged, and like the message goes out to everybody.
Absolutely. So I think we can do this now.
Yeah.
And we should. So
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So welcome. So yes. Okay. I can do this, and then from there on we can have one of you after me. Okay.
What is it about? So let's see.
What I'm going to talk about is that the school taught the history of mind is a relationship between man and nature.
Okay.
And then
That's okay. That's all right.
in the universe, we have to understand that we are part of a living universe.
Okay.
So we have to really give back this, this kind of vision to our universe as a living, and then our communication will be building our relation with the universe let us in
So how will it flow? Let's keep that in mind. How will it flow? Should we start with her?
Photos.
No.
It's very individual.
It's very individual.
perspective.
Because mine is about life
Yeah.
skills.
Because
life skills.
I'm connecting this topic, sowing the seeds about children,
Yes,
the
okay.
importance of life skills,
That's
and then
different.
nurturing the
Yes,
spirits
yes.
when they grow as adults.
So
So that
basically, I think it's important to give our individual perspectives,
Yes.
and if there's any coordination that should have been done before, like yesterday's, we coordinated. They linked all 3 of us on email, and we were already talking, and we knew how we're going to present it to the next person. I think at this
I
time.
emailed someone who was with my, and then I didn't finish.
Yeah.
And we were 2 only, so last week.
They actually included me only yesterday.
So I think we will go. We should go with how it's supposed to pan out, and then once we are all done, and she's keeping time, we should just have a nice heart-to-heart discussion.
Yes.
And that way she's also in that space, and she can be a part of this.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
The camera is rolling.
So, Khushi.
Is the camera recording?
Okay. So,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we're all ready to roll? Yeah. Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, and very happy to have you all here. Such an intense topic, yet fun, light, depends on the spirit we want to take this with. Moving away from sowing the seed, moving beyond to nurturing the spirits. For me, as a fashion designer and an artist, I'm in the right mind. What I mean by that is I'm always using art, creativity, spirituality, the right side of my brain. Okay, my very poignant view of this, and I've had lots of moments to think about it, And what I did is I collected poems as we went along. Every time I was traveling, I would keep noting down. So I've compiled, based on the essence of my thoughts, a little poem to start with that I would like to share with you all. Bear with me if I read it, because I don't want to miss out on words. Okay. Seeds, unimpressive conceptions? No. So much magic, dormant, silent, still, potential, unimaginable. Dormant lie for centuries, but when the parched earth gets rain, and when fires have died down and only ash remain, seeds new life forth bring. Magical transformation, rude gardener, and seed overjoyed. Seeds nurture, lessons provide, healing and strength lend. Seed sprouts sending tendrils up to the sky and beautiful tender roots down to the earth. This joy seen mirrored in soul of the grower as hope in life born anew. Thank you. Yeah, so that kind of captures how the seeds work in how life carries on. There's a small little story I would like to share after this, because I'd like to take this on a personal note. When I came back from being overseas for 18 years, a few years ago, I decided, I'd lived in 9 countries, and I was always surrounded by abundance, by beauty, by nature, by flowers and flora and fauna. And I wanted to plant something special in my house. So, like all typical NRAs, and this is a mistake we all do when we come back from overseas back to India, we don't realize how much India has to offer us. And so I looked around, and ordering online was not the norm in those days. So I actually reached out to the only online company that did seeds, and they said, and I chose the jasmine tree. And jasmine tree kind of, I think, blossoms in July, August. So what I did was I ordered the tree online, and it said jasmine tree. And so I waited, and I thought they'll send me a little sapling, and saplings are faster to grow, but here I got these candy little pieces of dried up, wrinkled, shriveled seeds when it came, and I was getting really impatient because there's a time to plant, and it was already taking time. And I looked at that, and my first reaction, a little spoiled as I was, and this was quite a few years ago, and I just said, oh, now I have to plant it, and I don't know how to plant it, and I don't know how to fertilize it, and I made so many excuses to myself. This is hard work. Hey, but there's so many people, I realized that this is exactly what we do in life. We don't want to nurture anything. We want to harvest without planting a seed. Life is not like that. It's definitely not like that. We should know better, right? Aren't we designed for accomplishment? Aren't we engineered for success? And we have been endowed with seeds of greatness, right? Let's not get discouraged at this point. I know it's hard work to achieve anything, to nurture a small seed which becomes a sapling. All efforts are like seed, no doubt, but well planned at the right time, with fertile minds, with patience, they are bound to blossom into a beautiful tree. There is no way out of this. My take on this, personal take, would be never give up on projects. Never give up on that ideology, that seed, because after all, so the way I focus personally on projects is like this. So I always, when I'm in a tizzy, I close my eyes and I imagine that those beautiful flowers from that jasmine tree have bloomed. I imagine that I'm going to the tree and I am inhaling that beautiful fragrance and I touch those petals and they're soft as dew. And then the joy that you get, don't they always say that, hey, you have to imagine the outcome. Imagine the outcome always, and the fructification happens, right? What else do I think of these seeds that we sow? I also associate these seeds with dreams. Okay? As the seeds of change, dreams are the seeds of change. Nothing ever grows without a seed in the earth. And similarly, nothing ever changes without a dream. All the best inventions in the world were once upon a dream, right? At this stage, and if you all agree with me, if I take a very holistic view of our bodies, our life, what do we have? We have to balance the body, mind, spirit, and soul. The body, we exercise, we are good. The mind, a little bit of stimulation, we are good. How do you nourish the spirit? How do you nurture the spirit? Right? More simply, in a layman's term, I would say, start finding a hobby or a passion. Seriously, to take the stress out of life, be still. Be still. In those, believe me, and I have experienced this myself, in those moments of stillness comes the answers. In those moments is when the answers on how to proceed in life come. Take a vacation, spend time with family and friends, make someone happy. When their spirit is nurtured, yours will be very, very fulfilled. Okay, so my wonderful sisters, nurturing the spirit, I would like to include you. What does nurturing of spirit mean to you? Could I have some answers from all of you?
Oh, can I say?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So how nurturing the spirits on the ground level occurs to me. It's having a lot of patience, and it's hard work, and oh God, it's taking long.
Okay, yeah. So lots of patience.
Yeah,
lot of patience.
and why doesn't it just show up?
And keep remembering to smell the jasmine flowers.
Yes, and it's like, why do I have to do all alone? Can I have 4 more
Yeah.
hands supporting me in
So
nurturing?
independence and belief in yourself.
So yeah,
Yes.
this is how nurturing the spirits, nurturing a being.
Your own spirit. Anyone else? What about you? What does nurturing the
I
spirit
want
of
to
you?
second what she said, because it sometimes gets very frustrating. It's like this. They always say that the destination is not that important. The journey is important. But then when you're going through that journey, it's like nothing is happening now in my life. I'm
Yeah.
trying to change paths.
Yeah.
So I have sent my emails. As my mother says, be patient. It will come.
Yeah, it will
And she
come.
also says that see the signs. If it is
Yeah.
not meant for you,
Yes,
it will
absolutely.
not be. But then I realize one thing, that if everybody thought it is not meant for them, then they would not have worked hard
No.
and got it.
Yeah. Can I say?
So I always have this dilemma, and the journey for me right now is proving to be very difficult and arduous, because I'm
Okay.
just waiting. Perseverance, patience are
Yeah.
good golden words.
Yeah.
But when you're going through
it. So can I
what
say
needs to
this?
happen,
What's your good name?
Shireen.
Shireen, can I just say this to your take and your moment at this point? See, what happens is, if you have paid attention to the kind of seed you wanted to plant, okay, did you plant it at the right time? You're fertilizing it enough. Maybe that's not the right seed. Maybe you thought you're planting a jasmine tree, but actually you planted a rose tree.
Yes.
Okay,
That's right.
so you really have to be sure what are you planting, is your outcome going to be what you planted. So that's very important. So that was wonderful perspectives. I'd like to sum it up from your take and say, again, at any moment you lose it, centering yourself and freeing yourself from the fear of failure.
Fear of failure.
Free yourself from the fear of failure, regret, and start living life again according to your passion and purpose. So make sure that seed holds the passion and the purpose
Yes,
behind
that's
it.
important.
Right? Very important. Also, how about being true to yourself? How about being true to yourself, to your core, and what really moves you? That's very, very important. Declutter your mind. Okay? The worst thing you can do is, with all those doubts, clutter, and so this unnecessary chatter in the mind has to stop. Okay? Believe in yourself, and also beautiful surrender. Surrender. It fulfills your soul in your spirit so beautifully. It's like taking out the weeds. Okay, so for example, you planted the seed and a little bit of a sapling has come out, and all of a sudden you see, oh my God, but there's more weeds. And really, your little sapling is lost in between. Please go back and think about it and apply this to life. Start taking out the weeds, the unnecessary weeds. Okay, believe in the universe. At the spirit level, the unfolding is actually quite perfect. It's actually quite perfect. It's at the ego level, then when our ego starts to interfere, that we imagine ourselves in an isolated world, in a very hostile environment. It's actually exactly how it is. Let the unfolding happen. Let's talk about role plays. We as mothers, okay, as aunts, sisters, womanhood, right? Sorry, dear gentlemen, I'm quite sure you have a very important role to play as well, and I say this for the gentlemen here. I'm sure you're doing a good job wherever you are, in whichever space you are. But women have held the nurturing spirit forever. Always, okay? If I want to apply this to me, I would say I have worked really, really hard at nurturing the fruit of spirit in my children. Okay, working backwards, that means I planted the right seeds when they were very young. And what did I choose? And this is my personal preference, and I put a lot of thought to this. What did I plant in to nurture the spirits of my children? I gave them the seeds of service. I gave them the seeds of gratitude, righteousness, understanding, and peace. And this is really the principles I live on. Attitude. If your heart is kind or cruel, it's something that you pass on and serve as an example. Prayer, compassion, forgiveness, discipline, and self-control. At this stage, I'm very, very happy to share with you that little sapling in my daughter that I planted, she has taken off for 6 months and she's serving in Central America all by herself. She does not have water for 3 days, and she's the kind of girl who takes shower 3 times a day. And she carries her water from afar. She's living in slums. She's living in dust. She is weaving. She's plucking cotton. And she just spent, this is all her money, her time, and she was at a top stage in the corporate world. And I'm a little touched because I got an email just this morning that she has carried on her head food, water, basics like toothpaste to a few homes in remote Guatemala, because Guatemala is one of the, thank you, one of the top 10 poverty-struck countries. And she has delivered it to their doorsteps, and most of them cried when they received from this angel who just came to their doorstep to give it. So I must have done something right in nurturing her spirit and planting the right seeds.
Yeah, planting the right
seeds. Yes.
That's what I always try to tell her whenever she comes out. Is your seed right?
Correct.
That's what I said. So many different, we've been at it for years, life is going by. But first make sure that the seed is right. Because I always believe that you are born with something, inborn talent is there.
Can I just finish this and then I'll let you take over? Thank you so much. Also, I would like to end at this note. That nurturing the spirit, let us be unconditional like a vegetable lifespan. Okay, let us be like a vegetable lifespan where the casting from one flower or one tree or one seed does not happen. The vegetables, they fill the air with abundance. So that if thousands perish, thousands may plant themselves. If hundreds may come up, that tens may live to maturity. That maybe one may replace the parent. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening.
Yes, absolutely. We'll hold the questions for later because I don't want to. Yes, we started by
so what I'm
1:18.
suggesting, because it's already 1:30. Yes, about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
I would like.
So I will find a different spot for myself because my topic is also, I don't think it is.
No, we started late.
About children and
Yeah, I think one of you should.
so you think they should come and
Please come because you're part of this panel.
it's part of the even the topic because you're talking about the
I'll try to see how I can
Please,
ready.
it's recording. Rita, you need to just take.
if you can
So we
just
go
go
to
to
that
Rita, you need to take the podium
Yeah, I
now.
will, but I need that person.
I can time you. I can time
Not
you.
timing, I need the slides.
Yeah, she has.
She was here. Where has she gone?
Can you just call that girl? Can you just call her back? She needs the presentation.
She's already inserted.
आप बुला सकते हैं? उनको presentation चलाना है अपना लैपटॉप पे, वो लड़की को बुला दो.
Oh, because it was decided earlier.
No, that's fine, but I need my slide. So I'll go quickly. My introduction is already there. So this is what I am. And could you go to the next one? Yeah. So I'm talking about this before I start about life skills because I think everybody should know that this is a very important thing. I was sent on deputation to Kuwait in '95 to start the first branch of DPS, Delhi Public School outside India. After my 30 years of experience as a teacher, I realized that these three angles of a triangle, I call them, parents, young adults and teachers, are not in sync with one another. And until and unless they are harmonious with each other, they are in sync with each other, the child cannot be a compassionate, progressive, confident, positive, well-rounded individual. There will be something lacking somewhere and he will not be an all-rounded individual. So could you go to the next one, please? Yes, here I would like to say something. So I came back and I started with workshops on this empowered triangle. So during my workshops, I realized that out of the three legs of a triangle, that is, one leg is the relationship between the children and the parents. Then the relationship between the teachers and the child. And third is the relation between teachers and parents. Now something or the other is always wrong. Sometimes parents don't like the teacher, sometimes the child doesn't like his teacher, or sometimes the child doesn't like his parents. So I thought, after deep thinking and research, I realized that if I work on this leg only, the relationship between parents and children, rest of the things can be sorted out. I'll give you one example. A child comes to your class, the child is not good in studies, he doesn't pay attention, his concentration span is very less, but he's so sweet to talk to. He's so well turned out. He's so soft spoken. He will win the heart of the teacher. So she will, be drawn to him, give him extra attention also sometimes. Now, she will always have a healthy respect for his parents. That he comes from such a household, with the household which is teaching the child manners. That will come to the mind of the teacher, and the relation of parents and teacher will improve. Now, the relation between child and teacher has already improved. And if the child is coming from such a house, we already know that the relation between the child and parents is very good. So, if all these three, angles are in sync with each other, the child is bound to be a well-rounded individual. Now, I come to this point today. In today's day, we all see that mothers are also working, father is as it is busy, and the total focus of the parents is on academic. We have heard about values, we have heard about life skills, we have heard about social skills, but I wonder how much time are we devoted to these life skills today.
Now parents, I heard in one session yesterday, we should teach them life skills, we should teach them values, but there is no structure. There is no structure as such. This is only abstract talk, that we should do it and we should do it, but when and how? When and how is the question. And the children are, growing up without these life skills, and at the drop of the hat they get into depressions, they are even taking their own life, there are gun shootings in the US because something is missing somewhere. Now we'll give this aspect a thought. Firstly, when I talk about life skills, some people don't even know what life skills are. What are we talking about? So these have been from generations to generation, these life skills are supposed to be taught to the children when they grow up. And I am here bound to say that earlier generations, the children learned more life skills and more values than they are learning today. Because the constant factor, the mother was always available. And the role of a mother was to empower them in life skills. That's why children from previous generations were more mannerful, more respectful, more loving, more sentimental than the children of today. So the life skills that should be taught to the children and that have been, supposed to have been taught from generation to generations have been categorized into these 5 life skills that I'm going to show you. Personal care and safety, respect for self and others, organizational skills, communication skills, and social skills. Now, since there is paucity of time, so I want you to quickly see yourself, then I can go over to the next one. As I told you before, turned out children, mannerful children will be appreciated, balanced food habits. Now, obesity is the problem in the whole world today. Why? Because parents are not careful from the beginning. They should give the child the balanced food from the beginning itself. Why are they allowing him to eat from McDonald's and Pizza Huts and things like that? There's no control over there. Then fitness, from the beginning they have to give the habit. Parents should go for fitness courses, they should go to gyms, they should exercise at home. And the children, whatever they see, whatever they live, they learn. If they see the parents doing that, they will also do it. Sleep. These days we see children sleep at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. In the morning they have to go and get up, they are groggy, they are drowsy, they go to school, they are not paying attention, and all the whole vicious circle stuff. Spirited. They should be cheerful all the time. Why should a child be down and depressed and moody and mood swings are there? Why? He should be all the time spirited and cheerful. Safety of gadgets. We should start from the beginning when the child is 2 or 3 years old. We have these days, we have so many electronics in the house, so many gadgets, so that personal safety, physical safety is there. But along with that, from the beginning we have to take care of cyberbullying, child abuse. We have to tell them from the beginning about these things so that they don't fall a victim to these. Next. Now I'll quickly go over respect for self and all these value of relationship is lost today. Uncle and aunties come and go, children will not sit with them. They will come say good morning, don't even come out of the room. Mom, don't call me, I'm not interested in meeting this person. But earlier on, how much respect we had for our mamas and chachas and buas, and we loved when the doorbell, now if it rings and you open, oh my God, unannounced somebody has come. And when we opened the door earlier, oh my God, my aunt is come, mama, see who's come and all that. We would be so excited. All that is lost. So we have to revive that. Manners, table manners, we are not even eating together. And I remember earlier on, table was laid. We are from the army and we are more, everybody's of course. Table would be laid with fork, knife, spoon and all. Everybody would sit together, start eating. After they discuss something, children will talk about something that happened in their school. Parents would tell them something. And through all that, the bonding would improve. They would have compassion from each other and the communication line would be open. These days the biggest problem is communication lines are not open between children and parents. Mothers come, no, I'm sorry, she's on the phone, I'm sorry, please, later. So child may be trying to tell you that somebody touched him inappropriately. Come on, listen to him. That's more important. That was the difference. Earlier on, mother was always there. And she would just notice some signal somewhere. The child is not cheerful today. What's wrong? She would not get the child. What happened? She would get to the bottom of the thing. But today, mother is happy if the child is not coming to her. Later, I have to prepare my presentation for tomorrow. My boss is there, so I have to please him also. So please, don't come to me. So all these things. Now, I find it very strange when I send a message to somebody I mean, the message, these days you get to know the message is seen, but not acknowledged. I'm sure so many of you must be feeling that if you've seen the message, you've read it, come on, there's so many emoticons, just give a thumbs up or a smiley or something else. But acknowledgement, we have to teach them that they have to acknowledge. They get a missed call, they have to return the call. So many times, you feel that when you have given a call, the call is registered. It's rude to call again and again. But the person at the other end is not taking it seriously, So that has to be taught from the beginning. Household rules, the TV time, this time and that time. This is very dear to my heart, household chores. From the beginning. Now we in India, we are, I don't know whether I should call ourselves fortunate or not fortunate. We have maids and servants and drivers in the house. So children don't get to learn the basic life skills that tomorrow, suppose they don't have all these, then what will they do? They are so lost. So household chores, if we involve them in household chores, there are so many other benefits from that. You all are working together. I would say even if these days, if mother is working, I think on a weekend she should send everybody off. No driver, no maid, no servant, no cleaner. That the family does everything together. From cleaning the house and dusting and making breakfast, meals, this and that. They should do it together. And how will it do? Okay, you do your room, I'll do mine, and let's see whose is the cleanest. They're all full of energy and all. They'll go one. They will try to be one better than the other and all. So that is how. Then they sit together. Let's bake breakfast together. You break the eggs, I break the omelette. You do the bread. You lay the table. So teamwork is okay. Anger management. Okay, let me go over next. Quickly, just read this. Next, next, please. All this. Connecting in society, I'll just lay some emphasis on that. We should learn how to talk to maids, how to talk to our drivers. We are sometimes rude, sometimes there are communication gaps. I'll give one example here. We were sitting at a friend's house and she told the servant, we got our drinks and all, and then the hostess tells the servant, okay, make tea now. So he brings 5 or 6 cups of tea. So she looks at him, who told you to make 5 or 6 cups of tea? Don't you see I'm the only one having tea? Rest of them are having drinks. I couldn't contain myself. I told that lady, I said, when did you tell him to make just 1 cup of tea? He just said, bring tea now. And then they're getting off to the servant that, you don't have any sense and we should throw you out. And the husband's like, but the fault lies with you. Are you very specific? When you give a command or an instruction, if it is not well received, then whose fault it is? Yours. You've not made it very clear. So that we have to keep all that. Like actually going through, I could have really gone on longer. Social skills. Now, again, I would, everything is clear. Stand for social issues. We are telling our children not to get involved. You don't know what damage we are doing to the whole humanity by doing that. Not to get involved. Neighbors are having a fight, don't go there. Just between husband and wife. Husband is beating the wife, not our problem. We are not going that side. If some accident has taken place, no, we are not getting involved. Rape is taking place, about to take place, nobody will stop. We might get. In the train in Bombay, there is a news that the guy is shown molesting a woman, but nobody wants to go. No, they're not. It's not their problem. Next. Now I have shown you all these skills which have gone from generation to generation. Today we are in the new world. I would say last 50 years, the world has taken such a giant leap towards evolution that it's mind-boggling. So we have new children, new generation. Over next, please. So this is what you see, the conversation. He says, I can't come out and play. I promised my mom I'd teach her how to use the remote control again. The child is saying, I'm going to teach my mother. Next. This is the scenario. Next. This is have to start young, not to lag behind. Next. So, I will quickly go over this. These skills have already been there, but 21st century has added 3 more skills: digital, emotional, and financial. These 3 skills have been added. Next.
Rita, can I just say as a moderator that if I understand this right, and for everyone's sake, you're going with this life skills to the point that these are the life skills that we as parents need to impart to the kids to nurture them,
Mhm.
plant these seeds, and I
Yes.
think that's where you're going.
Yes,
You need
yes,
to
exactly.
plant
Thank you.
these skills,
Yes.
and that's will tie down together
Exactly,
what you're
nurturing the
doing,
spirit.
and then you
And then
can nurture the spirit,
spirit, yes.
of the child.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Just
for that.
one last thing.
Yeah.
Now, we give a lot of importance to academics. Academics, we have trained teachers, we have specialists, and we have report card for evaluation. But life skills, who do we have? Parents, who are not even that trained, who may not be able to give these life skills to the children. They may be passing on genetic inheritance to the children. In most of the cases that happens.
Yeah, I think,
So
I think
just-
we should let her.
Yeah, last
We
thing.
have time.
ये जो life skill education का खोलना है.
Yeah, we can.
No, this last thing is that we are trying to say, our organization, that we should have a report card for life skills also. We should be evaluated by the parents at home on say weekly basis, and they can keep one for themselves. And
Thank you so much.
and I will show you the report card, and you can download it from the net. Thank you
you,
so
Nina.
much.
Thank you so
And
much.
I now invite
Yeah, yes.
Alia
Thank
to
you.
take
I hope
over.
I have time.
Thank you.
Actually, I will take the subject to another area. First of all, I am a founder of an NGO called Human Foundation. And the Human Foundation, the main subject of this Human Foundation, can you please put my scroll? And the same thing, the objective is oneness of humanity. Because I feel like it's we needed now to break barriers and feel our human, the real seed is to nurture our human oneness, because from the heart, as hearts, we are one. As cultures, we are different, religions are different, but we shouldn't make any variation and diversities break our human relationships. So we have to build these seeds of oneness within our heart. And more than that, we need to build the seeds of our oneness with the universe, with the cosmos. And so maybe my presentation, I would say
can handle the
that
presentation from here because
I can handle it from here if it's
No, it cannot be connected from here. Can you kindly come and open
No,
it up and then I
no.
will...
You can put it here and I can read it, and I like to make contact with people's eyes and
Okay, sure, but I can flap it from here.
You can flip it from here, yes, okay.
But put it on for me, please, if you can come.
I think maybe why don't you take the computer to
It
her?
cannot, it cannot.
Oh,
There
you-
is,
you
technically it
While
has to
I'm
switch
talking, you could
Okay,
read
it's
it to
fine,
me
it's
because
fine.
I'm fine.
No, because it's plugged in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Ah,
Yeah, yeah.
What I was saying was right. After me, she should have gone and I would have taken another slot.
No,
So
your
no point.
topic has to be on accordance
that's
with
what
the
I'm
topic.
saying. I knew the topic was not
But you put your name down for that. Yeah, that topic. Yeah. No, I'll take that slot.
This is the end of this.
They gave me an excuse.
Of course, it was a topic. You came after I finished.
So, my subject is, as I said, that it is the seed of our oneness should be uncovered and unfolded within our heart. And at the same time, I'm relating with what I would say that my presentation represents a spiritual ecology. Because we are living now in a time when the whole world can be annihilated because of our stupidity and we feel like we are separate from the whole cosmos. So just I am sharing with you my vision of how history, because as an anthropologist I'm just sharing with you how history was processing. The history, we think that it's our human history that create the world, but actually it is the world who created us. And then just if we think about
how long it takes the earth to prepare itself for us to be here billions of years. And when we think that it is, our history, our human history started something like 150 to 200,000 years ago, compared to the age of the earth, it's just like yesterday. If we think that we started as human civilization something like 10,000 years ago, then it is like, second of the then actually that this earth who created us, we have to be grateful to our Mother Earth, because something that we are connected to. And at the same time, this connection, this kind of realizing that we are so much connected, then we have to learn from nature. Actually, nature will teach us compassion, will teach us giving, will teach us many things. So we have to be so grateful to the, to nature, because she gave us, then we have to give it. Can you see the next? Yeah. So when we think of the old people, or the what we call primitive people or simple societies, actually we should learn from these people, because they were connected naturally. The indigenous peoples, they feel like they are they feel like they are part of the part of the nature. So we have to learn from them the moral ethics, and at the same time how to deal with the world. Next, because I told you. So my suggestion is that we should understand that we are children of this universe. We have the responsibility to care for the earth and for ourselves, and that should be taught every day for our children and for ourselves, and then we'll be get aware. Next slide, please. We should get aware to this kind of connections, because if we think that we are not separate entities, we are communion. The animal, our neighbors and part of us, they are extension of ourselves, and we are part of them. So we have to think to create another awareness. This something that needs to be planted in our hearts in order to really live in harmony with ourselves and with the universe. Come next. Yeah. And now, this is the start of the civilization. This is when people when the Egyptian, the people there started to plant the earth, they start to have another to plant as well what's inside them. So it's like agriculture created culture. And it created, next please. It created a shift of consciousness. Because, if you think about it, you see how this civilization was really established. It is, instead of being like living just to survive, then the Egyptians started to think about why we are surviving. Started to think of the goal of life, the beginning of life, and they were communicating with nature in a very beautiful and after this. They think before this one. Because they humanize the word. They humanize the word. And they see that the word is within themselves. Because they see everything sacred. Because we don't understand, some people when they read they say they have many gods, God and goddesses. These were not God and the goddesses in the sense that they are worshipping them. They understand that there is one source beyond, and this is, I will not read this before the text before. I will not read it because it will take time, but it is a proof, because it comes from the writing that they think that there were one spirit over the world, but everything they see they give it some kind of sacredness. They feel that it is divine. So this kind of feeling we need after this, we need to revive this kind of feeling with us, because then we'll understand that the universe is within us as much as we are part of it. So that's actually what we need to plant in our hearts, in the hearts of our children, because then all the values that we are talking about, it will come. It's like pouring from the heart when we really be aware of the gratitude of the bounty that is given to us through nature. Then the feeling of being thank you for nature is going to give us some kind of also compassion and way of dealing with nature. Yes. So I said, you know, we talk about animism as part of the human development and evolvement, and we think these people are thinking in a primitive way because they think the tree is it has a soul, this has soul. No, but we need this spirit again because we are not talking it from the superstitious point of view, but we have to think that it is everything is really alive. When we think of the world as a machine, and this comes in the modern, in the 19th century and 17th century, when Descartes separated between the mind and the material thing. When we think about it, no, this all the whole. We have to think of the world as spirit and physical, both together. So we have to really to feel the soul and the spirit in everything in the world. After that. So now there is something that is, I am going to say, maybe you will not accept or accept, but it is when you think about everything, if you use from your mind in everything, and you forgot all about your heart. When the mind ruled everything, you feel like you are missing something that is very precious, because you know all the ethics, all the values should come from here. We cannot teach, as you were saying, we cannot teach, or you were saying, cannot teach values as something that is, you should do this, you shouldn't do that. But we should teach the ethics by example, by making everyone in peace with oneself. So then what is going on is going to be authentic. It's not going to be going like teaching something that I am pretending to do it, or I am obliged to do it, but I don't feel it. So we need this kind of something within our heart, not just with our mind. So if we open our eyes to how nature is kind and bound to us, I think this will change a lot of things in our lives. So it is to live in an evolution that we need today, is to connect ourselves to the divine as manifested in everything. This is some nice from Tagore, the Indian, yes, and the one in us and the one in all, and then that we should really keep in mind. And we have to be the life in all, and it's manifested in all aspects. This is another, and I in order to really put and plant the seed of oneness, you have to be like a tree. Stay grounded, connect with your roots, bend before you break, enjoy your unique natural beauty, and keep growing and keep united with everything in the world, and of course with our human brother and sister all the way. So I think I finished in the right time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we need a group picture. Yeah, just
Yeah,
the speakers.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Recording the okay. You should.
Yeah.
You both are saying bye to